Anukija wepa ashuk empa paut. Wu halal ashuk kawun jawef neya. Anuki kasam empa paut. Wu pa paut kawun kasam neya. Anuki wahu ame pa paut. Wu pa paut kawun wahu ame neya. Naku kado nacho ame kasam empa paut. Wu-Sabat Amen Mahu Kado Saman Kala Kafef Mahu Aro Javef Paus Ame Rase Ame Arabi Ilaye Bakoi Javef Paus Danuki Rapi Paus Kawin Paus Kador Mahu Kador Paus
All right, so for newcomers, I'm gonna see if I can try and share my screen one more time. But for newcomers, if you're not familiar with who we are the United Sabians Worldwide.com. Our culture is Wu-Sabat. Our teacher is Dr. Malachi Z. Kobina York, known to us affectionately as Pa Nabab Yanun, the Master Yanun, who is the reformer for this day and time, the warner, the guide, and he has come to renew our story, our history, and tell our story, which has been a mystery to many people for thousands of years by design. And because we had to wait for that right time for it to be made known to the world. And many people try to guess or tell you about the time we're living in now, which is the sun cycle. And many people try to predict or prophesize this time, but we're not able to give you the actual facts and confirm by way of truth the things that are taking place in the world today and that are happening. So we as student teachers of Pa Nabab Yanun, our job is to guide and help those to Wu-Sabat, to the master teacher, to the scrolls. And having walked the road that some newcomers are walking, we are able to literally just help you on your path as we were also helped by others. And it's about each one teaching one, and we spreading Wu-Sabat and letting everyone on the planet have an opportunity to know about Wu-Sabat, because ultimately they have to make a decision of where they stand, because we're living in a day and time where only truth will prevail and falseness and falsehood is going to perish. And anyone or anything that is not able to metamorphosize or transform into this new world will be left behind. And there are many signs and wonders and things that are going to take place as we go more and more fully into the sun cycle. And that's because the planet itself, as mother nature, as a part of nature, is also transforming, and you're connected to mother nature. So it's also getting rid of any problems that it's facing, meaning any infestations, and it's doing that by way of tornadoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, many things that are happening to remove those disagreeable forces and disagreeable beings on the planet. And this is why it's important to be in tune with nature. And Wu-Sabat helps you to do that. All right. So today's title for the room is The Waiting Game. The Waiting Game. Now, we have these titles to intrigue you, to stimulate your thought patterns, to make you think and possibly then arouse some questions that we are happy to take to help you along your way. So when you hear the waiting game, I'm sure you're probably thinking, what is that topic about? What is this about? Well, a lot of people are waiting around and waiting for something. Some may be let me see if let me know those on Zoom if you can see my screen. I've shared it again this time just to see if it's going to work. Can someone on Zoom let me know if you can see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Excellent. So this is our official website, the United Sabians Worldwide.com. And as you can see on the screen, you see various images of our master teacher, Pandabab Yanun. You often hear us say things like, there's no one alive today or dead that has done works greater than the master teacher, Pandabab Yanun. And we literally mean that. And so he is the being that is here and been spoken about that many people have been waiting for. In the religious world, they tell you that they're waiting for a savior or they're waiting for someone to come and save them. Save them from what? And who is that person? So in the Christian world, I think I'm gonna start picking on the Muslims a bit more because I'm not picking on them, but I'm always kind of like using the Christians as an example. But each one of these religious groups, whether it's Islam and Muslims, they're waiting for someone. They think they're waiting for Mahdi. They think they're waiting for who they call Jesus, the Messiah, or Isa, Ibn Maryam, the son of Mary, right? The Christians are waiting for Jesus. The Jews, and when we say Jews, when Judaism, you have different types. You have the Pale Jews, who are really known as the Jebusites, from one of the 11 sons of Canaan known as Jebus. And then you have the Saffradim, the Ashkenazim, which are like, Russians, Khazars, and you have Israelites. And you have the Hebrew Israelites, you have the Israeli church, and they also waiting for a Messiah and don't believe that he has come. And when you look at the world today and look at yourself and what you're subjected to by way of your five senses, as they say, right? Which is what you see, what you smell, what you hear, what you taste. You must find that a lot of times you're not in control of that. If you're walking down the road, down the street, well, especially in Croydon where we are at the moment, you see all kinds of people, all kinds of stuff. You're seeing people that are mentally challenged. You're seeing a lot of drug addicts. You're seeing people just on these vapes that they're pulling hard or smoking cigarettes. You see a lot of homelessness. You just see people just walking dead, lost, it's just mad out there. Like literally, like you can walk from one end of one road to another, and I'm sure it's the same in most parts of the world. And you smell things, especially if you're an empath, someone who picks up energies and you pick up vibrations and you see the suffering, you see, and the smells. Like I said, you can't walk down the road and breathe because someone, you have to dodge someone smoking a cigarette, dodge someone smoking a vape, you have to hold your breath. It's crazy. Then it's the same with your ears. You just constantly bombarded by noise. You hear people screaming, "Come to Jesus, Jesus loves you." You hear the cars going, the motorbikes going, the person shouting in the street, arguments, it's just noise. Then you look at your mouth and you're like, you want to eat something. There's no way to eat. There's nothing you can eat if you're trying to eat properly, because all you see around you is places that are selling you what they're calling food, but it's actually very damaging for you. Your pigeon and chips, kebabs, your, I don't want to get flagged, but do you know what I mean? The Mickey D's, the this and the that. You look at what you're putting into your mouth, you're like, I'm trying to find something, and you literally struggle. And you may end up going to, somewhere where you can get some fruit, some veg. Then you have to even say to yourself, are these real? Because you don't know if it's Monsanto, if it's hybrid. So I'm saying that to say that it's so hard today to be in this world and be who you're really supposed to be and function and live and be in the way that you should be. And even when we go to Nuwapians, Sabians of Wu-Sabat, Musbatu, we had anyone who has ever had the experience to have been on Tamaray, our land, right? Egypt of the West, which, there you go. There's a picture of it. Well, for those who can see it, it was literally heaven on earth. Like, I'm comparing that to the environments that we live in today. Like, you could walk around, the weather was nice most of the time. You would see the deities. We had many sites where you can do what we call go through the inner journey, the Magaraj, and get in tune with yourself and your ancestors. We had many sites, the element sites, the realization sites, communication sites. We had all the flags representing, our nations, many of the African countries. And it was just peaceful. And when you were amongst people, you just sat down, reason, just bliss, peaceful, right? So that was then. We're now where we are, and we have a then in the future. So the question is, when we're going through these experiences, living in a way we don't want to live in, our master teacher, who's on the screen right now, Partner Babyanun, being incarcerated for the last 23 years, going on 23 years now. And we look and reflect on where we were then to where we are now to where we want to go, right? Which option would you like to have? How would you like to live your life if you could right now? Because we have a lot of people in this system that is falling. Babylon the Great is falling. And do you like it? Do you like how you live? Do you like the fact that you don't speak your own language, you don't wear your own clothes, you don't eat your own foods, you don't have an environment that's conducive to what you would like, the noise pollution. So I'm just asking the question, what do you see and what would you like? How would you like to live? If you could. Anyone, if you want to speak, you can use the mic in the class, or on Zoom, you can unmute your mic. On Clubhouse, you can unmute your mic. What do you feel about the world you're living in right now, and what world would you like to live in? Peace and harmony. Right. Someone in the class. There you go. We always ask you to use a mic because the people online can't hear you. So yeah, go and say it again one more time.
I would say peace,
And
unity, and harmony.
Okay. And when would you like to do that?
Now.
Okay. What do you consider to be peace?
Everyone that's on the same page with one mind.
Okay.
Loving and caring about each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else online? What in your mind's eye right now, if you could live the way you'd like to, what would you consider to be the way you would like to live?
So check this out. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So check everybody. But that question you're asking us at less than 50% of our brain power. So that's like asking a dog, what does heaven look like? If you ask a dog what does heaven look like, they're gonna imagine a bunch of dog food and all that type of stuff. So I guess from the human standpoint, that's a good question to ask. Of course, peace. But from a spiritual standpoint or a ethereal standpoint, what would that look like?
Right. That's what we're exploring. Number one, I wouldn't ask a dog that because I know that the dog is not intelligent enough or would not even know. It's like me asking the brick wall. Like, so I'm speaking to us beings that have a mind, have the ability to think and communicate. We must know what we would like, or unless we're saying we're happy with this world and we're happy with the way we're living and we're happy with the state of things. If we're not, then we want to know what is it that we want or that we will be happy with. And I'm saying all of this because it all relates to the title of the room, the waiting game.
But what?
Come on.
The overall,
Sorry, Sonra, you're breaking up. You're coming patchy. Say that again. Josie, I'm gonna come to you after, right?
Okay.
Okay, Sonra's yeah, that's better. That was better.
Okay.
Did you want to say something?
This is tips. If nobody is saying, I'm willing to.
Ed.
I can hop in on.
Okay, let's go to Ed and then we'll come back to Sonra when his mic's back. Ed, go ahead. Or is it Raobat?
Was there a sister that was in line before me? Because I don't mind waiting.
Okay, Josie.
Yes, the man. We want utopia. We want utopia.
On utopia. Okay, yeah, but
Yes.
what is that? Let's what is utopia? Because it's
I'll-
good. All these buzzwords are great, but we need to go into the right. What is that?
I'll start saying that get rid of all the violence and all the segments of it, because when we speak about violence, it's not just physical wars. There is financial violence. There is emotional, mental violence that are spread amongst people.
Mm-hmm.
And we manage to get rid of the violence, we'll
Okay,
be
so we want a place with no violence. That's great. Okay, cool. Next. Anyone else? Oh,
I can finish.
okay. Jackie, we're coming back to you shortly. Go ahead, Ed.
So I'm trying to articulate this properly, but I would say in a manner that's based on necessity and principle driven.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say that is there are a lot of things that we want. So, for example, yes, we want the peace, but then we shy away from the battles of the war that may be necessary to maintain that peace out of necessity, and
Right.
so on and so forth.
Excellent. Excellent. Good. Thank you. Right, Jackie.
Yes, I was thinking, in addition, the knowledge of the truth of our culture,
Mm-hmm.
the true way of living our lives,
Okay.
what we eat, how we dress, how we behave, how we conduct ourselves, our mannerisms,
Mm-hmm.
because, we've lost, we are really lost. And to be the best that we can be, to tap into all of our capabilities to bring out the best out of us, to have big accomplishments, and to leave the debts, DEBTS,
Yeah.
behind,
Mm-hmm.
and be free, be free. I mean, that to me brings freedom, freedom to know who we really are,
Right.
the truth about us. That is important. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So,
Uh,
anyone else?
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm here. Can
go
you
ahead.
hear me though?
Yes.
Yep. For me, I heard all people say that it's perfect, what I want. Okay, for me, I see this heaven, so-called heaven, as where truth is normalized. There's no, truth is natural.
Right.
And you have access to the requirements of life and education, what is true knowledge, medicine, all the freedom to be yourself. Everybody is, if something is wrong, there's justice, freedom, equality. You have health, wealth.
Mm-hmm.
What your innate natures are allowed to be expressed, so you can benefit everybody amongst many.
Thank you. Tammy, go ahead. Tammy, you can unmute yourself and ask. Or
I would like to live in a world as a Nuwapian with Panabab New free and with the rest of our family.
thank you. Okay, now that was beautiful. I love all of that. We want to live in a world with no violence, where truth is what's ruling, where we don't worry about debts, where there's, like you said, peace, harmony, respect. Okay. I still see people with their hands up. So unless you're okay, thank you. Okay, we had that already. That's what Wu-Sabat is. Wu-Sabat is about truth. Everything you're learning about Wu-Sabat is truth. So we've got the truth, right? Wu-Sabat is culture, our culture. We know how we should dress. We know what we should eat. We know how we should treat each other. In fact, we have a series of books called Patarat, which is the way. That's the way we're supposed to live. So everything everyone has said, we have right now. And we had it when we had our own land with the 476 acres, and we were adding more land to the adjacent areas. So the next question is, what is stopping us having that right now? Because we do this waiting game. People like to wait and wait. We can have all of that right now, but we're waiting. What are we waiting for? And I haven't even touched on the fact that Pana Babyanun has been incarcerated for 23 years, as I said before. And you have people that are saying, I'm waiting for Baba to come home before they move or do anything. What are we waiting for? Go yeah, use the mic. Go ahead, sis. Zamaka.
Who says we're waiting?
Okay, then why don't we have the stuff that we just all said we would like to have and live in? If we have it right now, then we wouldn't be saying that's where we would like to live or be. So we must be waiting because we don't have it.
Is it willpower or we call it I don't know, trust or there's something that is.
But that's what I want to hear from.
us.
I want to hear from us. Why don't we have these things now? Like what is stopping us?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but
Okay,
I
it's
think
fine.
probably willpower or
Rahubat, greetings.
everyone is waiting for everyone else to
Right. We've got a hand up. Jackie, go ahead.
Well, I was thinking that, we need to step up. We need to participate, and take advantage of
Right.
the books and to learn and to be studying. And that would help to, help us to be progressive towards.
We've been studying. We've been reading books. We got over 1,000 books. No one else on the planet has a book for everything you need to know about. Every question that you have. People have been reading books for 40 years, 55 years. People that even just came into Wu-Sabat last year, 6 months ago, have been reading books. So we are reading the books. And I see 4 hands up. Like we're gonna go from Jackie to Jose, and then Tibbs, and then Patricia. Oh, okay. So Josie. How do you pronounce it? Let us know.
Actually, the Portuguese name is José, but you can say Joseph. Oh, yeah. You can say Joseph, it's fine. I don't catch me with the name. So I understand the fact that what stops us as a humanity is fear in general. But for those that are already in a culture and following, it's just become because we have to be the examples. And once we set the leadership by the example, more people will be able to follow. But in general, as humanity, is the false evidence appearing real that is stopping us.
Okay, I got that. So fear stops us. That's one thing. Okay, great. Fear stops us. I forgot, what did you say, sis? You said something, even though willpower, you said, yeah, willpower. Okay. Right, Tibbs, go ahead.
Yeah, for me, you said this paradise. It's not for me. I say inside me, I say I'm in heaven. So I know I love health, etc. But there's this up and down motion in life, in time. So the sequence of my being in that state is ever increasing for me. But when I say paradise, I would want everybody to be in a state where everybody shares it. So whilst I'm growing this way, I look back and I see some other people that are not there. So that makes me feel that I'm not in this paradise.
So you're saying, well, you're kind of answering the previous question that so you would like to live in paradise. That's what I got from what you just said.
Yeah, what do you call bliss or paradise or
right. But again, when we say paradise, what is that? How does that look like? Give me an example of in your mind what you're calling paradise.
Paradise is where some of the elements would be where truth is natural. So if you were to take something from a shelf, this is a cream. It does this. It's not the cream that somebody conceived to do something else or kill you or so the facts are clear. Truth is normalized.
Okay, so really you just said what we said before, where someone else said that they would like to live in a place where there's truth. If that's what you're calling paradise, because from a religious perspective, the description of what they give you for paradise is what?
Drinking honey and playing music.
Milk and honey and playing. All right. Okay. On the planet, you hear all types of music, right? Okay. And you can go and get honey and milk from the supermarket. Okay. All right. Thanks for your contribution. Right. Let's go to Patricia and then I'll read your comment, Marky. Go ahead, Patricia.
Yeah. Where do we start? If you were to say to everyone, as you're doing now, where do we start? What would you like? What would you like? We're not ready. We are stopping ourselves.
Right. But my question is,
Yeah.
why? And I'm glad you're touching on it because I don't just come up with these titles for the sake of it. There will be a solution and there will be, but we have to talk about it, discuss it,
Yeah.
see the reasons, like I said, what is stopping us. And everything everyone has said about the type of place they would like to live and how is something we had already as Egypt of the West, Tamaray, where, sorry, who's that? Rahubat.
Yeah, I'll wait till you finish up.
All right, so back. It's okay. You can go ahead. I got more hands up, but we'll let you go. Go ahead.
Well, wait. Okay. I would say it's the lack of creativity and trying to figure out like exactly what we can do as far as business wise and what can we do like
right
there would be a pillar in this new age, like when we talking about like we are to create a whole new system, right? That leave people old where you have been under the control of, the Mukasu or, the way of life that we've been living.
Right.
Coming out of the field. So a lot of people don't know how to create different businesses. Like we need nature business.
Right. Okay, great.
Something pertaining to that.
Tora, thank you. You're going to work today. You're so used to us students, teachers standing up here and just giving it one way. But today we are all going to use our minds and our brains. And yes, I like what Sabat just said. We've talked about business. We're going to create businesses, right? Great. All right, Colby, go ahead. And then I'm going to read the chat from some of the other brothers and sisters. Go ahead, Colby.
Rahubat McDowell. So I think it's more thing where, and I think this is a thing we've probably spoken about before, but it's more about people kind of rejecting maybe the lives that they're living now.
Right.
In order to attain that paradise, because, sorry for the noise. Because, yeah, I mean, I think however you want to live your life, you can live it how you want to. If you want paradise, you can attain paradise, but you have to reject everything that isn't paradise.
Absolutely.
And in the world that we're living in now, it's far from paradise. So if you're a part of the world in any kind of way, for example, if you have a job that is paying you and allowing you to live a comfortable life, in order for you to get out of that, or in order for you to attain paradise, you have to get out of that comfortability within this world and then move into something completely different. So I definitely agree with what the brother was saying on the last comment. 100% understanding your business and everything, but in order to do that, you have to remove yourself from the world we're in now, which is a very difficult thing to do, granted. So I think that's where the challenge is for us.
Thank you for the contribution. Right. Sorry, I don't have any mods on Clubhouse, so I'm multitasking. Okay, right. Let me read the comments from some of the people, and then we come back to you sisters in the room. Marky 444, he says, I think it's mostly due to worldly pressures or responsibilities. Things like mortgages, bills, parents, partner, children, job, etc. Then Dara says, that's what I'm thinking as well. And then we have TBJ, location, right? With obviously where you're going to live, where you're going to go, where we're going to do this. Trust, rules, restrictions. How much control am I giving up and to who? Okay, so everyone is echoing the same thing, and I do love what Colby said, that most people, and when I say why don't we have it, it's because a lot of people are serving two masters. People are waiting to become Sabians when you can be a Sabian now, right this minute, today, right? And the jobs, the things that you feel you can't let go of. But then, how do you get out of that if you're in a cycle? Were you going to say something? Yeah, please use the mic. Commitment, yes.
I was going to say commitment. I feel we're all saying the same thing. But if we said, for example, tomorrow, everybody meet at 8 a.m. with as much stuff as you can at this location, we're going to this place and we're going to start now. I doubt like less than 50% of the people that are here and on the call actually be willing to make that commitment.
Right.
Based on also what the brother was saying before. So I think a lot of it is, can we commit
Absolutely
to what we believe and what we have?
Yeah. And that brings me to, there's a phrase I use all the time, the three C's. Courage, because you have to be courageous and ready to take that plunge, right? So you need courage. You need to be able to go, look, I'm going to do this, right? Number two, as you just said, commitment. You got to be committed to it. And the last C is consistency, because we like to procrastinate. We like to wait. We keep waiting and waiting for what we can do now. People have been waiting for 2,000 years for someone to come and save them when no one is coming. And the help that you're looking for, as put by the master teacher, is at the end of your own arm. So people have waited and crossed over for generations, and we're still waiting. And we wonder why we're not progressing. We're going to have to do, and I'm saying, Wu-Sabat. There are people that have been reading the books, like I said, Wu-Sabat is in stages. Firstly, you have to come across it. You have to be activated. You have to know there's some other choice, alternative. Because a lot of people say, oh, I've been a Christian all my life. I've been a Muslim all my life. I never heard about Wu-Sabat. And then they get introduced to Wu-Sabat. And then the next thing is, okay, now you've been activated. You're like, got a lot of junk, a lot of DNA that you have to start cleaning yourself. And the master teacher says, the first thing is to clean yourself inside out. And you start to read the books. And the books tell you exactly what to do. And some people are like, yeah, I'm going to stop eating meat. I'm going to wait till I do this, till I do that. So they're just waiting. The waiting game. Oh, I'm gonna have my last cigarette and then I'm gonna come. They're waiting. Everyone's playing the waiting game. The master teacher has been in jail for 23 years. And we're still playing the waiting game. Like you say, we can do anything we want if we put our minds together. And he told us what to do. Love and unity, come together. And I love what you said, my sister, about commitment. And they tell you, you can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. That's not being committed. You know, there are people that I see been reading the books, studying the books, coming to classes for years, but they don't come into the family and be amongst us so we can work together to achieve what we've done, even though we've done it already. And we can do it anytime we want again. And I'm tired of the waiting game. And the master teacher is tired of the wait. He's been waiting. He's waiting for us to get him out. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Oh, you're coming out this year, Pops. He wait and wait. Are you not tired of waiting for something to happen that we can do today, that we can do ourselves? It's so easy. We are going to get to the solution. It is that easy. But we do this waiting game. Let me read you something from, let me just check if there's anything in the chat on Clubhouse. Okay, so we've got loads of, let me just quickly read some of, the little one sounds cute. There's a comment here. It's true. We love, when the master teacher is teaching, when you listen to the recordings on Tamare, you hear children laughing, running around, playing around. It's beautiful. And that's what we're saying. Like, that's the future right there. And if we don't get our act together and stop waiting for someone to do this for us, what's the future for them? But anyway, let me keep going with the comments on Clubhouse. Curtis was the one, Curtis Da or DA said, it is a case, Zamal, if we wait, we will always wait. But if we do, it will get done. Absolutely love that. And he says again, I'll get the Muslims with you, Zamal, laughing loud. Sunra says, streets of the dead. Absolutely. Here in ATL. Yeah, I used to live there, so I know what you're saying. Okay, I would like to live in our own city, free energy, vegan, fast foods, we police ourselves, yeah, hot weather, back to Africa in a acorn city kind of way, all right? Let's all come together and rebuild back in Africa. We can have our own woolly wood, I like that, and Wu-Sabat beach with pyramids connecting back to our ancestors. I can visualize that as I'm reading what you just said. It's so clear in my head. Yeah, our own Wakanda, yeah, kind of like Wakanda. It falls under either skill or will levels, right? So a lot of the time we have, but the things we actually have every single skill we need within our community and family. The reason why we don't have it now is because people love Babylon, the love of Babylon too much. And the last few comments, reading is good and necessary. Application needs to rival and exceed the reading. Exactly. And finally, can we sell back to the Western world and trade? We just need to set up our own farming and agriculture. Nefertiti traded with the outsiders, but it was put Egypt first. She was like Trump, but back in the day. So true. And this is, obviously, you can see what's going on in Africa with the rise of what's going on in Burkina Faso and stuff like that, because that's what he's doing, isn't it? He's saying, like, we're going to build, keep our resources, provide food for ourselves, etc., right? But let me read this. This is from Leviathan 666, The Beast as the Antichrist, part 1 of 4, from page 87. The time is now. People who don't believe in religious prophecies know that something is going to happen. I have told you over and over again that I am not talking about some mythological rapture where Saul's or Shaul's, Paul's, Yeshua, Isa, Jesus, Tammuz will be floating on clouds as taught in Christianity, or Muhammad riding on some white donkey called a Burak as taught in Islam. There are people who don't think the crafts are coming, but they aren't supposed to because it's not for them anyway. Remember, many are called, but few are chosen, as it states in Matthew 22:14, right? For many are called, but few are chosen. Don't think by virtue of the fact that they are coming, that you will be chosen. Look at the kind of people you are: liars, thieves, worshippers of false gods, etc. Look at how you treat each other. You never say anything good to each other. You are jealous, envious, and all just to live in the image of the beast. This is a part of the spell. And as long as you hold things against people and are spiteful and revengeful, always trying to get back at someone, because of that, you'll never make it on the ship. And then he says, Yeshua, Isa, Jesus of 2,000 years ago has taught us the way. We just won't follow it. But love ye your enemies and do good and lend, hoping for nothing. Again, and your reward shall be great, and ye shall be the children of Elion, the highest, for he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. You will fall to the wayside, meaning when the ships arrive and you're on board, that is if you make it on board. You will be given answers to questions you can't answer. I think that's supposed to say you'll be asked questions you can't answer. You will stand in front of a council and don't think that you'll make it if you answer wrong. In order for you to be the 144,000, you must have the information needed to come back and teach. So study. You've got to study. Here, obviously, this is a scroll from in the 90s. The Holy Bible, the Quran, the Nobles Quran, the Holy Tablets, and the scrolls as spoken of in Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto Theos, Elohim, God's judges, angels, God. You must also defeat the beast and his image, as shown in Revelation 15:2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of God. So they can't have pity on you. The principalities in high places are going to do what they have to do in order to execute their plans for the millennium and beyond, meaning that for the New World Order to go into effect, they will make sure their plans are not disrupted, even if that means at your expense or dispense. You see, so when you look at what's happening in the world, you know, the beast and his agents are busy trying to put together to control everything and everyone. That's why when I started off saying your entire senses are controlled by the system and not in a positive way. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna open up for Q&A because it's already 8 o'clock. What I do want to say is we, those who are serious and are tired of the waiting game, we want Partner Babylon on home. We're tired of the games. We're tired of the people that they're faking the funk. They act and say they're with us, but they don't fully commit, as you say. You know, some come, they give it all the hype. We have a lot of talking heads and a lot of readers, but it's not about just talking and reading, it's about implementation. And so I'm putting it out there now because I'm working and we are working with people who really want to see this, what we're talking about. We're not talking about some pipe dream. We want to get things done. I'm talking like now. So just looking for 100 people who are committed, who want to actually get things done. And we're going to start there and move with those people. Just 100 people. Our Telegram group alone, right now, has, let me see how many people we've got in here. We have 2,281 people in one Telegram group. Do you think we could get 100 committed people that are serious, that would, like you say, follow instructions and we all move as one to implement things?
Out of 2,000.
Well, we've got 8 billion people on the planet.
Yeah.
But out of this Telegram group, we got 2,281. So we are ready. Those who are really serious. You know, I'm on the Telegram group. If anyone's here that's not in the Telegram group, join the Telegram group. Send me an instant message. Say, yeah, I'm ready. I want to be one of the 100 people. That's how simple it is. And then we're not obviously going to tell you all our plans in public because we know there are people amongst us and people watching that would like to destabilize, sabotage things we do. That's why we don't get things done. So there is a plan and a strategy to get this stuff we're talking about. We've had it before, so we know how to do it. We've got all the skills. We've got brothers and sisters that have learned in this world many skills that they can bring to this world we're talking about. So if you're listening, anyone listening, some of our videos, we reach thousands of people. Many are called. We just want a few. A few are chosen, right? We just want 100. And we will talk with those people and lay down what we're moving and doing. And you're going to start to see the change. Oh, I love that. Terry says, always been ready. This is what I'm about now. This is the energy because we're tired of the waiting game. We can do, you see right now, yeah? I know not everyone on Telegram right now is probably in the class. It's taken us a good while, let's say 10 months to get this 2,281. And out of those people, and remember, this is just one group. We have other groups as well, right? Out of those people, we don't know who were real and who was not real. And there's some trolls and all of that stuff. So, but really, if we were to say, you've heard the phrase, many hands make light work, right? We make things difficult for ourselves because we don't work and move together and committed. And we all say, like my sister was saying, do you know, right? As much as we get the hate that we get as a people, and sometimes you have to stop and ask yourself, what have we done to anyone to receive the kind of treatment and the racism and the hate and everything that we get? What have we ever done? All we've done is provide the world with the best music, the best artists, the best sports people, the best inventions, the best of everything. But why are we so hated? Imagine that. We haven't done anything. But if you start to go back and look at slavery, look at the lengths they've gone to suppress us. One of the funniest things is most people are coming to know now that the map, you know, they make Africa really small in comparison to all the other like continents. When the real map, I'm just saying, think about a being that went that far to say, you know what, let's make the map small so that they don't think they're as big as they are or they have the power that they have. And they go about making all the maps distorted. That's not even talking about the actual treatment of what some of us went through, which is very traumatic. And we go into the graphic nature of what slavery did. But yet, we are not allowed to forget the Hitler and the Jews and the Holocaust. You cannot go a year without that being brought up. But you bring up our trauma, our issues that we've gone through, but we shouldn't talk about it because you're talking about generation after generation of being stagnant, waiting for someone to come and save us when we can save ourselves. And that's why, as I mentioned, Ibrahim, he's like, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And that's how I feel. I feel like If people are really serious about bringing about what it's laid out for us. The master teacher has laid it all out. We've had a black print. We've lived it. We've lived it. There are people that were born on Tamarin, and that's all they knew. You would hear the Om chant, you know, you get up, it's a sunny, you look around you, beautiful sceneries, our images, we had our temples, and beautiful. Different people from all parts of the world will convey there and come together, have fun. The master teacher's presence, of course, he will come out and just share with us. And you left feeling like you can do anything. You had that buzz, you know, beautiful. And we can do it, and we're going to do it. We're going to start with one thing at a time, and we're going to build. Now, let me read some of these. I was incarnated ready. Yeah, I love the energy I'm seeing in the chat. People are like, I'm ready. Others are like, always been ready. I was incarnated ready. That's Arthur. Let me tell you something. We are good at, as I said, bamboozling and speaking. We can give the best talks ever. Even the Jesus, you know, the sweating, and everyone gets the tambourines. We do the dances. Everyone does all that dancing, screaming, and everyone goes home and goes back to their jobs and go and serve the slave master, and come back on Sunday and do the same thing, and go to the mosque and do the same thing, read the same dead books over and over and over again. The master teacher said, a lot of us that are waking up, putting Wu-Sabat to practice, we start to recognize our power. Like, wow, do you know what? I have dreams and they come through. I can just think of someone and they call me. You know, I just touch people and I can heal them. You know, all these wonderful things. And the master's like, cool. I came to teach you that you are supreme beings and have the abilities and the power to do anything. You once had your barothry gland that gave you access to your higher senses, telepathy, intuition, psychometry, and clairvoyance. The nerve endings are still there because of the way it was surgically removed, not to damage it. So you still have the ability to do it. But what I have to do now is take you from the crap you've been subjected to for so long, clean you up. But for you to show me that you really want this gland back, to give you back this power, implement Wu-Sabat. Stop smoking crap, stop drinking crap, stop eating crap, stop going to places that are not good for you, stop listening to music that is damaging you, stop wearing these fabrics that are not good for you, stop eating, stop taking fluoride, stop drinking their dirty water, stop doing all of these things, and you will heal yourself. And for those who take the time and just read these books and implement what I'm teaching you. Look, the unclean issue, that's how to clean yourself, right? We got all the books. And once you do that, you're showing me you are definitely worthy of receiving back your barothry gland, and you will get it. So he stood up to tell us and teach us all of this stuff, how to levitate, how to, you know, teleport, how to be the God, the Ethereans that you are. And what did we do? Start asking about Abraham, about Moses, about Jesus, about Adam and Eve, about the Noah's story, about all the religious books. And he was like, wow, okay, let's put this away. They don't want to learn how to levitate, how to come out of their body, their skin suit, travel to different dimensions, do all of these things, get their barothry glands so that they can be human beings they're supposed to be. So let me wait, put it aside, and I'll teach you and answer all your questions to the point where You ask the ultimate question. Who is this God? Who is this Allah? Because you're trying to this being, and then when you ask that question, he was like, okay, when we asked that, he's like, we're ready. They're ready now. Because now I can tell you who God really is. Who's God? Anyone? Who's God? You. There you go. You. So after you've done going outside of yourself and reading all the books, and he said, okay, now you guys have finished ego tripping of how great you were. You were Moses, you were Abraham, you were Jesus, you built the pyramids, you did all of these great things. Now you've finished that. Now you know you are those beings. Now I can really teach you what I came to give. Because a lot of people say, I'm so great. You know, some people will say, you know, I'm Moses. I am Moses. To carry the stick and everything. Some people claim all right, if you are, you are, right? You're so great. What have you done lately? Remember the song? I think, is it Janet Jackson? What have you done for me lately? Or is it Gwen Guthrie? I can't remember. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. I'm showing my age, right? Nobody knows.
Janet Jackson.
You're right. Janet Jackson.
Yeah, Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? What have we done for the master teacher lately? And he still continues to give. He still continues to hold on. He's still saying, they're still playing the waiting game. And he's like, what more do you need to build to do the things that I have shown you is possible that you can do? What do you need? And he's like, I know what it is. All they need to do is love and unity. Just come together, get shit done. Just get it done. That's all we have to do. We just got to do it, and we're going to do it because we have run out of time. We're not running out of time. Time's run out. And no one is going to do it unless we do it. And the divisions don't help us either. That's what, go ahead, sis. That's what religions and all that is about. Go ahead, sis.
How much does it matter that we're spread out? We're so spread out all over the world.
It doesn't matter because we are all connected by our DNA, our genetics, and that's why the master said the formula is to get your mind right. Once your mind is right, no matter where you are, we're connected. And this is where Wu-Sabat is showing you this. We are all over the world. We're in Jamaica, Trinidad, we're in all parts of America, we're in Africa, and we're still united under one banner, Wu-Sabat.
So the 100 people, for example, that you're asking for to step forward first, those 100 people can come from anywhere in the world?
Anywhere on the planet. Okay. Anywhere on the planet.
Okay.
Because it's time to start building. We got to build. We are the original builders. We built the pyramids. All right, build a school for the children today. Why can't we do it? We can. We go to the hospitals where we get hospitality and we complain why we're sick and dying. We got healers in our communities, people that are herb specialists that know about the body. That's why the master said, learn about your body inside out. Because most of the things we suffer with are based on the things we put into our mouth. And you can just fast, clean yourself inside out, take cleansers, clean your blood, clean your colon, stop eating meat, stop eating sugar, stop eating all the salt. Take the things we need, nitric oxide.
Rahul
Bazama.
It's Usiaka here.
So what? Rahul
question on Zoom. Then there's also a hands up on Zoom as well.
Yeah, I see Jackie's hand up, but yeah, let's take the question on Zoom. Who is it? What's the question? Do you want to read it for me?
Tua.
Okay, I see it.
You see it, yeah?
Yeah, okay. I see it. Yeah, all the people that are saying I would love to be one of the 100, I'm saying action speaks louder than words. I'm just saying that, like, we've been around so long, we keep it real. There are people get that gas a lot. And don't just say it, be committed, have the courage, and be consistent with what we're going to do. We will do it. So thank you, everyone that's saying, I want to be one of the 100. That's great. Don't worry. You said, what should be the next move? The move will be told to all of us at the same time. And just make sure you're in the Telegram group so that you can send me that message. We're going to take, from this chat anyway, but let's go to the question. So, and the class today is really ask questions, as we always say, so that ask us anything so you'll be completely clear on what we're going to do. All right, question. How do I balance the quest for truth with the responsibilities of everyday life in a system designed to distract? Excellent question. This is what I'm saying about when you are God or goddess. We use those terms so that everyone can follow what we're saying. You are in control. You got to manage and balance everything. That's what gods do. So when you climb up to the highest point on the pyramid, the top of the pyramid, this is what I was saying when the master was like, okay, you've all finished ego tripping, asking all these questions. And the ultimate question is, who is God? And he told you you're God. So that means you're now at the top. Yeah. And when you reach the top, what can you do? You control everything, but not only that, what's underneath you? Everything else and everybody else. So you wear the mask of God. So now you got to feel what it's like to be God, right? To be God is not just the good side, it's dealing with all the problems of the world. That's why we have an issue with the monotheistic religion's God, because we say to him, you claim you have all the power. You can do anything. Yeah, you're omnipresent, omnipotent, omnipotent. You have the power. You can say, be, and it is. Until we come along, Wu-Sabat, Sabins, Nuwapians, and we say, can you really do everything, God? And this is why we pull the mask off of God, because we show people that he can't. And people say, but God can do everything. We say, no, he can't. And they say, yes, he can. And we say, we can tell you something God can't do. And they are amazed when we do. We tell them, God cannot be less than himself, because then he wouldn't be God anymore. Because the minute he becomes lower than himself, he's no longer God. Meaning that some people say God came down to earth. So if he's in earth, he's no longer everywhere. If he's in heaven, he's no longer everywhere, because he's inside of something that's bigger than him. So God cannot be less than himself. Secondly, he can't get rid of the devil or evil. You should ask yourself, why not? Why can't he get rid of the devil? If he can do everything and he knows everything and he's all powerful and almighty, Allahu Akbar, as they say in Arabic, in Islam, he's so powerful. Even that, we say he's the greatest, the biggest and greatest of what? Because who are you comparing him to? Or how do you know he's the greatest? You only know someone's the greatest if you have a test, a race, or something that you're judging who came first. And that person then would be the fastest runner or the greatest runner or the fastest or the greatest boxer or the most intelligent being that has got the highest mark in the exam. So if you say he is the greatest, the next question, the greatest of what? But before you ask your question, brother, because I want to touch on this thing where he says, now you are in the position where I've got to teach you what I came to give you, which is Wu-Sabat. And all you have to do with that is read, study, and apply it. And that's what we're going to do. Go ahead, brother.
So just to touch on the question.
Yeah.
As to how to balance the two.
Yeah.
When it comes to work, you can either work for someone.
Thank you for reminding.
Or that person work for you.
Exactly.
Or another way of describing it is you can make your work work for yourself.
Right. Exactly.
You understand? So
Yeah.
to put as an example, if you're at work and you're working in an office, you can put priority on the work more than yourself.
That's right.
So you get the problem.
That's right.
When you put yourself first and the work second, then you will find naturally you have more time for yourself, and therefore you have time to develop yourself.
Absolutely.
And still maintain your
Right. That's it. That's why I said a God is someone who's in control. And so you have to have a plan. You have to be like, okay, I don't want to be here, even though I'm working. You have to have a plan. Like I'm working to get the money to set my own business or to do something else that's going to release me and give me my own time. And when COVID hit in 2020, this is where a lot of people had, like you said, opportunity to have the time to just stop for a minute and think and be like, I actually like this. I like working from home, going to the park or whatever, and going to nature when I like. And now their whole mentality and mindset change where they're like, now I can actually make a living from doing something I love. And what is my passion? And what do I want to give back to humanity? So now you're not just working for money to pay the bills, to do that whole cycle constantly over and over again where you're not fulfilled. So yeah, to answer that question again, you will balance everything because you have to be in control. And this is what Wu-Sabat teaches you. Wu-Sabat is not extreme. It doesn't go to be one extreme or the other. It's about balance and it's about working your way out of that system into Wu-Sabat. Yeah, so that's how you will deal with that. And yeah, you have to look at that everyday life in a system designed to distract you. You have to know how not to be distracted because there are so many distractions, so many, to the point where you can just go, all right, today I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna do and achieve certain things. All you have to do is pick up your phone, and social media will take hours of your life. And you're like, few hours later, like, I was supposed to have achieved this, but the distractions, you see. So we have to be in control of what we're exposing ourselves to. Okay, so let me carry on. Never had this truth of clarity, but now it's different. That's from Rosalind. Yes, and this is what we have to keep doing. Moses, I'm really becoming ready. This totally quit opening. How do I balance the quest for truth? Okay, that's the same question. So the thing is, you are in a framework where you have a family, a community of people that are able to help and work with you. So you're not alone. You're not going to do something that someone else hasn't already done, you see, and you can learn from each other. All right. So, yeah, so we're going to implement things and we will keep you posted in terms of our achievements and what we're doing. But yeah, we're tired of the waiting game. People need to stop waiting because the master teacher is like, what have you guys done? When I was around, we had all this stuff. We were building, we were constantly developing and doing things. And now you're waiting, you're just waiting around, waiting for who to do it. You think an elder like him is going to come and do what we're supposed to know to do, that we've been given all the tools to do? It's like, what more do you need or want? You know, so yeah, Jackie, go ahead. I know you've had your hand up for a long time.
Isn't it on the the leadership to have a plan in place?
Did you say we need a leader?
Yeah, the leadership, of to have a plan in place to guide us. Is that what the 100 people will be about?
Yes, you're a leader. You're a leader. We're all leaders. But I hear what you're saying. It's just we have to have someone or organize in the way to have a strategy. And it's not one person. We can sit around, we're on a round table like how the ancestors do it. It's a council of people who agree on one accord to do something. And that's it. This where love and unity comes in. It's not the system that we're used to where there's one person. And that's why Wu-Sabat works, because the master teacher wasn't that egotistical, I'm the leader, dun, 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 everyone do as I say. He shared and gave everyone the same amount. So everyone's a leader. Everyone has Wu-Sabat. Everyone knows the same information if you're reading the scrolls and putting it to practice. So we're all leaders. He said, don't walk in front of me and don't walk behind me. Walk beside me. Because when you're walking in front, you're running ahead and you don't know where you're going. You're not the guide. You can't walk in front of the master teacher. Many have tried and they run ahead and then they run out of juice because they have to go back to the source. If I give you a piece of, I don't know, like a piece of my bread and you run with that little piece, it's going to run out. You need to come back to the source. So you have many people out there, teachers. Now everyone is teaching information online, on YouTube, and so everyone knows everything about everything until they come across us and we put them to the test and we question them because we know who the leader is. Well, the leader, the guide, really. Because the master, as I said, he doesn't claim to be a leader. And this is what they tried to do with the case. They tried to make him a leader and you all follow. We don't follow. No one in Wu-Sabat is following because you have a choice. You read the books and you decide whether you want to wait, keep waiting for whatever you're waiting for, or you come and join and we work together and we build. And so it's like no one's a follower. Everyone is a leader. Everyone is a god. Everyone's a goddess. But there are different types of gods. There are gods who promise you things that don't deliver, as in the religious gods. And then there are gods like, even that term is a very, very low term, but we just use that for the purposes of this. He's a god that gets the job done. He shows you. He produces things. You know, so you have to be able to decide for yourself if it's something you want to do or not. If you don't, keep waiting. We move with those who have got to that point where they know what they're doing, because it's about knowledge, it's about knowing, it's about coming together in love and unity to do what we have to do. Trust me, we as student teachers of the master teacher, we have been bruised and we know what we're doing and it's not going to fail. It can't fail. We have no other choice. We are at that point where the waiting game has to stop. No one's going to come and give it to us. No one's going to save us but ourselves. And we just have to get it done. That's it. No more waiting game. All right, let's see if there's anything in the chat. What have you done for me? Yeah, thank you. That was Leo, right? Thank you, Janet Jackson. I'm banned from the Telegram group still, but I'll direct inbox you. Yeah, you can direct inbox me. In terms of being banned, we don't ban anyone. What we do is, well, actually, if you continue to disrupt the group and just distract the group, then yeah, you will be removed, because this is what we're saying, that we are very aware of the six ether forces and the trolls and the people that are there to kind of sabotage and distract people. So if you do something that is going against our rules and regulations, then yes, of course. But if it's just a minor thing and you say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, we can put you back, So, but yeah, we'll look into why you think you're banned, and we may be able to reinstate you. Dame Dash said, when you work for another man, you're not a boss. That's why I work for a female. Laughing out loud. That's true. What would be a great place to build? Yeah, we're going to do all that. We're not going to give out all the details and information, in a way that people can run ahead and, but whatever we decide together collectively is what we're going to do. Yeah, but we're going to get it done. Let me see. Okay, no more questions in the chat. We have 1 hour left. Now you can ask questions about anything you want to ask, about books you're reading. If you're quoting from one of the scrolls, it'll be useful to give us the title, the page number, and the reference, the verse, so that if we have it, we can follow along. If it's a question that you just have regarding anything we teach in Wu-Sabat, our culture, feel free to do so. We ask that you put your hand up first. I see you, Josie. Jose. If you can't use your mic or your mic's not working, you can always type your question in the chat and we will read it out and then answer it for you. So go ahead, Jose, you got your hand up first.
Thanks, Zamal. My question is a quick one. I would like to know, how can we, when I say we, those that are not in UK, can learn the meditation experiences? I'm reading currently the Breath book,
right,
and a lot of experiences there that requires some kind of guidance. So how can we outside of Croydon or UK can get access to these teachings? Thanks.
Right. I got you. I mean, with some things, you can only do your best based on what the master has put out. Like you say, you have the breath book. There are recordings on YouTube, and I'm sure I'm just looking for it. I think there's an actual Partarako meditation. I'm just going through my collection to see if, but there is a Partarak. The thing is, though, sometimes we overcomplicate things and look at, when we're talking about spiritual practices, sometimes we, like the master said, you're naturally spiritual anyway. It's really other races that are trying to be like you. So I'm saying that to say, like, when you break down what meditation is and what's the purpose of it, what are you really doing if you think about it? What is the purpose of meditation in terms of what you've learned so far? And what's the reason for it? Anyone can answer.
Concentration, focus, relaxation.
Concentration. Look at that. As soon as he said it, I found the concentration one. And yeah. All right. So concentration is not meditation, is it? But in order to meditate properly, you have to concentrate. In order to do anything properly, you have to concentrate. So concentration is a part of that. But that's, yeah, part of it. But you want to say something? Go ahead.
For me, meditation is a way of disconnecting from this reality or society. That's the
Right.
purpose.
Excellent. Now, when you look at words, remember, Wu-Sabat tells you, first of all, break down the word as much as you can, even if it's in the English, the Inglesi, right? So you look at a word, you see med, which is middle, med, right? The middle, meditation, the middle, as you say, pyramid. Mid is the midway between, as you just said, my brother, how you're in this world, in this physical world, that you're familiar with, the physical. I'm still going through my part tracks to see if there may not even be one called meditation. But if anyone is online that.
No, Zamal, it's the concentration when
Right,
you refer.
concentration, yeah. So it's this one. Right, so you have a world, this world, but you have an inner world within you, right? This physical body is the synthetic you, but the real you is inside. So you have to get to know the real you, the inside, the one that's inside of you. Because even in religion, they tell you God blew into man and man became a living soul. So you are a living soul, right? And the bacteria and the physical illusion is not the real one, it's the one inside. So you have to get in tune with that being. And you do that by, like you said, my brother, is to stop and go inward. But when you go inward and find that inner you realize that inner you is connected to beings outside of you too. Because that inner you is the etheric you. And you have etheric parents, right? So meditation is the art of calming the mind and making the mind still, cutting off the distractions of this world. And so to do that, you really have to concentrate, because as you're trying to silent the mind from the ramblings of, oh, remember, you got to go and pay that, you got to take this there, you got to do this, you got to do that. Then the more quiet you get, as you start to go into that silence, the louder everything else becomes. You can hear a tap dripping from miles away that you didn't notice before. So yeah, meditation is the medium or the middle part where you're used. Remember, your mind is on the fourth plane, right? So you have the physical world, the spiritual world, mental. And that from the mental, then you connect to the higher realms, where you're now talking to the, your soul, the soul plane, and you're talking to beings that are vibrating higher in different dimensions. So when you're meditating, you're really saying to the mind, or trying to silence the mind, so that you tap into that mental reservoir, where you start to hear sounds outside of your normal hearing, because you're listening now. You're really listening. Yeah, you're quiet, you're listening, you're tuning in to receive information, because you're communicating to higher realms, to your ancestors and other beings that are vibrating on a higher dimension. And this is where you will receive what people call inspiration. You will receive, you just come out of meditation, be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do my business. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Da, 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 da. Come out with new inventions, because you're tapping into the higher realms, a mental reservoir. You're tapping into beings that are trying to reach you. But because of the distractions and the noise, you're not tuning in, because you're a radio. A radio, when you want to tune in to a particular channel or station, you have to get the correct frequency, right? Like, 91.9, our frequency is going to be 99.99. So you tune it, so you're going through the static noise. You hear bits of nonsense, what we call white noise. Then when you get to that channel, 9 ether, it's crystal clear. You get the signal coming in loud and clear, and then you receive information, which then becomes information in your mind, and then you then apply that. So meditation is not something like you just have to watch somebody else do it, because you can watch people do it all day long, but unless you do it for yourself, and it does take time, it's nothing that you get instantly, because people will hear things like, meditation does this, and they go, oh, is it? Let me do it. Sit down for 2 minutes, fold their legs, and say, oh, nothing's happening, it's not working. And they abandon it. But if you continue and give it time, be patient, over time, you start to tune in and silence the rumblings of the white noise and the distraction. So going back to your question, Jose, it's more about sitting in stillness and not being distracted, and trying to communicate to your ancestors and to beings on higher dimensions and levels, so that you will receive, what you ask for, and you start to hear the voices clearly. Everyone has ears, but not everyone can hear. Everyone has eyes, but not everyone can see. Everyone has a nose, but not everyone can smell. So these are all parts of your nose is the pyramid, right? That's the first pyramid. So what we're saying is you are unique. And what do I mean by, because people think, what are you talking about? You've got eyes and you can't see. So what we're talking about is clear vision, clairvoyance, the ability to use your third eye to see things that other people can't see. yeah, to hear things that others can't hear. And, you know, I remember if you read the Bible, like Jesus talking in parables, and someone can hear the same thing, but have no clue what you're talking about. Isn't that mad? Crazy? Like, you don't take pearls and cast them to swine. What does that mean? It can mean many different things to different people, right? You're smiling, my brother. What does it mean? No, I'm being serious. What does that mean?
Swines and pearls.
Huh?
Swines don't eat.
Swines don't eat pearls. He's a comedian. Okay. Anyone else? Because I'm just showing you how a parable, but when you interpret it, if you have the ability to, were you being serious or are you just giving us a joke? Okay, go ahead, brother.
For me, when I heard that, I saw, don't give something precious, basically, to someone or something that won't appreciate it.
Absolutely, 100%.
Or that would misuse it.
That's right. So in ancient times, you had to be worthy to receive certain knowledge, because knowledge is what?
Power.
Power. If you use it correctly. Because you can have all the knowledge you want. If you don't use it properly, then you might as well not have it. Let me just check in with Clubhouse. Is anybody on Clubhouse? Oh, Habtu is online. Good. We've got a moderator now. So yeah, if anyone on Clubhouse would like to ask a question, raise your hand and you'll be brought up onto the stage, and then you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Yeah, so why would I give you something precious if you're just not going to appreciate it? Imagine you don't know the worth of something and I give it to you and you just dash it to the side. So yeah, it's about, do you want to get these secrets? Do you want, everybody wants the best. Everybody wants to be successful. I see you, Ramesses. Everyone wants to get the riches, the gold, the silver, whatever. But are you willing to do what it takes to get it? Are you willing to put yourself out? Go ahead, Ramesses. I'll see you as well after Ramesses.
Yes. If somebody wants to, learn Miss Bhatia, how do they go about it?
If they want to learn Miss Bhatia?
Yes.
Okay. Firstly, there are a number of books that the master teacher has put out. The one of the most extensive one is this one, which is called The Language of Time, Lahej Shalel Wakut. And there's that one. There's the ancient signs of speech. We have books 1, 2, and 3 of the language book. I'm telling you, even though they may not be available, so that you can actually look, you may find them somewhere else. There are many stores and different places and it may come back into circulation. So yeah, these are Miss Bhatia Made Easy, which are books 1, 2, and 3. Let me show that for those who are online. Yeah, so these ones. So I've given you 3, right? So we have these small ones called Miss Bhatia Made Easy, books 1, 2, and 3. And then we have the ancient signs of speech, and we have the language of time. In addition to that, we have groups on Telegram that focus purely on the language, because the language is so key, so paramount. We also have tools that we're building to help people learn the language. So once you're in the Telegram group, we can give you the links to the different Telegram groups that teach it literally every single day, from beginner to advanced. And you can hear people speaking it as well, because people leave voice notes. So you can hear the pronunciation of the words. And the last one is be around Sabians, be around Nuapians, and you naturally just start picking up words. And the way you learn it is to just speak it, and you don't really learn a language the way we have to do it now, which is to get a book and learn the alphabet and then learn the, the words and learn how to put sentences together. When you were learning English, you just grew up hearing it and then you picked it up. You start with a small vocabulary, you say mama, dada, and then you listen to what people are saying and you pick up, I want this, I want that. And that's how you learn. You just build your vocabulary. And there are many words that you hear some people use that other people have never heard before. So that just shows you that if you're exposed to different situations and different environments, you're going to pick up certain words if you go to university, if you higher education, etc. So the best way is to just speak it and most people should know how to say greetings by now. If anyone's on this channel, on this class, and doesn't know how to say greetings, you're not studying. Anyone going to volunteer? How do you say greetings? There you go. Say it on the mic. Say it on the mic. Say like you're proud. It's your language.
Rahubat.
Rahubat. So everyone should at least know that by now. And how do you say bye? Or when you're leaving? Wadu. You see, we can pick up one word at a time and just start to use it. Think of things you say every day. How are you? Learn that. Next time you see someone, you don't say how are you, you ask them in Miss Batia. Kaya fathir antak. How are you? You see, and it's just little phrases. And before you know it, you're building up a vocabulary and they're speaking it, but you got to learn to write it. And you got also learn to, see the actual script, read, write, and speak it. Yeah. Go ahead, sis.
Yes, with regard to don't cast your pearls onto swine, is that materialistic things as well as knowledge?
Absolutely. That's why I'm glad you did that, because that's what I mean by a parable can have many, meanings, levels. So you're right. It's not just the pearl was just something to say it's something precious or something valuable, but that value can be words of wisdom. Like you say, it could be knowledge. So you're not going to give someone the secrets if they're not going to, honor it and be, Yeah. So you're right. It can also be words of wisdom. It can be anything that is of value. Okay, I see a big long question in the chat. Okay, there's quite a few on Zoom. Let me just go through that. How can I help? This is from Terry. How can I help others awaken without forcing knowledge onto them? We answer this all the time by your example. It's as simple as that. Be the change you would like to see in others, or the change you would like to see in the world. And that's all you have to do. Live Wu-Sabat to the best of your ability. And if you do that, you will naturally come with that energy, that love, that peace, that harmony, and people will gravitate towards it because naturally people want to be a part of the winning team. No one wants to be a loser. If you say to everyone in the room, who wants to be a loser? Who's a loser? Who wants to be the devil? Who wants to be dirty? Who, or the negative side of things? Nobody really wants to be that person. So that tells you naturally want to be your best self. So when you're your best self, your energy, your vibration changes, and you're naturally drawn to others who are like that. You see, birds will come to you, flowers and plants will grow around you. Things that can feel that energy, that vibration, you're not harmful. Whereas if you got that negative aura, you're miserable and you're jealous and you're envious and you're angry and you're all those negative, people around you don't want to be around you because they feel it. Like, I mean, there are people who will try and help you. I mean, like, not, but I'm just saying, like, animals and plants and things that are sensitive to that energy, it's going to be harmful to them. So when you go, they're gone. They're not even. Whereas if you're that peaceful and that calm, a bird can fly and just sit on your hand because it doesn't feel any threat from you. This is why we say that when you start to subdue your animal nature and feed your God side or your the Natharu in you, then that comes out to the point where you stop eating the red meat, the aggression and all that energy goes. You see, because your vibration is important. Yeah, so you just got to be the best you can by applying Wu-Sabat, and you share. I learned something the other day. When you're aware of constantly being in a position of not knowing anything or being humble, you learn more because you hear other people and like listening skills. That alone is a very useful skill to have. A lot of people, you watch when the people are having a conversation, sometimes someone's not listening because they want to cut in all the time. So I'm saying that when you listen, you learn. And that's why the master told us you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. You're meant to listen twice as much as you speak. Yeah. So I'm saying that I learned from an elder the other day that the approach that she took to get Wu-Sabat out was amazing. She bought some books and just left them around the room where her friends and family were, like, and didn't say anything. And they passed it. What's that? Picked it up and then put it back down. And she didn't say anything. Eventually, they were like, "Oh, what's that book that you put down there?" And then she started to talk about it. Meaning, and I asked her, why did you do that? She said, well, because you have to wait for the person to want to know or to come to you. And they're ready then, because now they're asking you a question. And sometimes we want to badger people. And, and because we have so much information, it's so easy to go, do you know this? And then the aliens and the person is just like lost. So we have to be able to meet people where they're at and just share what they want to know and take them in steps. People are like, why are you always quoting the Bible and the Quran? We don't need those books. Those are dead books. Yeah, to you, because you've passed that stage. But someone who's still there, you can't just say to them, leave the Bible, don't study the Bible, because you're taking away their whole world. Like, that's what they've known all their life. And you have to be sensitive enough to know how to perform surgery. Because this is what we're doing. Because you have to look at their mind, look where they're coming from, and be like, okay, which angle do I go? How do I approach this? Because some people are going to be like so programmed and they may not be ready. Wow. Is that the time already? Sorry. I normally get 5 minutes before the chant. My alarm tells me. Wow, time goes so quickly when you're having fun, as I say. All right, so I hope that answered that question, Terry. Next question, quiet in your mind and going inwards. Yeah, that's right. Rosalind, so Ken, can you speak on the so-called Black Americans having half a soul? How does that work? Okay, so this is what we're saying. It's only the master teacher that taught us about this, because he's always able to come with new information and teach us things that we don't know. And it was in an update where he said that the people that are from that born in Africa, raised in Africa, that have not everyone, but he was saying they have full souls, and those that have been tainted or born in the West and been subjected to the programming have half souls. It's not just America, it's in the West. So yeah, that's kind of how we got that information. He hasn't really elaborated much on it, but that's what he was saying, that the people in Africa, and we're seeing it happening now. He said, because they have a full soul, when we come to this change that's taking place now with the sun cycle, they're going to be more fully activated and ready to move and start to come back into their own power. So when you see what's going on in Africa now, it's like literally another prediction that the master teacher came with. So that's why we were saying at the beginning, like the waiting game, like people in the West, they're a lot more docile, like they're more subdued in terms of, because you've been given a false bubble where you think like things like you get welfare, you get support from the government, and that actually makes us lazy. It makes you not want to provide for yourself, because you'll have a whole family, generations that have just been on benefits. And one family that everybody knows that's been on benefits is the royal family. They don't work. They get the money from the taxpayers, and that's benefit. So we're breeding people that don't think and want to, but you go to Africa, go to, you know what I mean, what they consider poor countries where they don't have benefits and don't have welfare. Sometimes to have a meal in that day, you better get up and go and do something. Some little children will go without a meal for days because you have to work to eat. So you see everyone hustling. You see people with, you know, baskets and things on their head. They're selling biscuits, they're selling water, they're selling peanuts. Go to Nigeria, go to any of these places, and from a child, you're an entrepreneur. That's what you're doing. You're a businessman or a woman or a child, and you flip it. You get, you know, you build, and by the time you're 18, you've built something for yourself. So yeah, we have to learn that. Master put it in most of those books, like the Millennium Book, the year 2000, What to Expect. He said welfare is going to become what?
Distinct.
Read it backwards. That's right. Welfare is going to be farewell soon. And listen to what's being spoken of on the news today, this week, about how, because you relied on it for so long that when it's taken away, you don't know what to do. So it's about, yeah, literally doing for self, doing for, by, and each other. Yeah, so I hope that answered that question, Rosalind. The half, so unless any other student teachers want to elaborate or expound on that. But yeah, he explained that Africa with full souls are going to wake up and be more active than us or those in the West that were born in the West and have been more subjugated and programmed by the spell of Leviathan, the sixth ether. Meditation is the art of listening from deep inside. Exactly. The art of listening and not speaking and receiving, as opposed to just prayer. It's like, God help me, God do this, God do that. Begging, literally, begging God to do things for you that you can do for yourself. Okay, Joe say the reason why I ask about guidance on the breathing exercises is because we manipulate Sakem, absolute energy, and if wrongly manipulated, we can damage the system's body. For the mental techniques, I understand that. It's just a matter of practice, consistency, and detachment. Yeah, you're right. Breathing, that's why the master put out the breath book, because something as basic as breathing, a lot of us don't know how to do. One of the most basic things is that people breathe with their mouth, not their nose. But your nose is designed for breathing, and you got to take in the breath through your nose and then out your mouth. But you watch people and they don't breathe properly, and that causes a lot of the problems we have with your respiratory system and your lungs and your liver, because obviously your lungs need that, like Terry said, the sakhem, the energy that is inside the breath. It's actually energy that you're taking in. Most recognize the oxygen, but when you go deep into it, you're really trying to extract that energy, that sakhem, some called chi, from the air. So now you're breathing polluted air, which is even worse. So you kind of have to try and go to nature where, you know, you're going to get the most purified air. And you know, around here you got all the cars and the exhaust, and you know, and then they go all the chemicals and all of that anyway. So this is what I was saying at the beginning about, if we want to live in the type of environment that we want, where it's more conducive to our being, then we got to get out of the cities. We've got to be more nature, you know, more close to nature. I started working at 16. That's from Mr. Messina. Yeah, I mean, back home, listen, even in their religious books, they teach you you're a man or a woman at the age of 13. That's why the Jews, that you take your bar mitzvah at 13 and you're a man at 13. You've got to start thinking about your future. And, you know, and with they program us to, you know, be in parties and all this. Listen to the word party, which is parting. You're partying away from each other. And made you laugh, Pepu, right? Yeah, it's true. Partying, that's what we do. And, you know, we go to clubs. What's a club? Something you hit someone over the head with. and this is how the master teaches us. It's right in front of our faces, but you don't see it. And then mix that with the alcohol, which is called spirits. What are spirits? Disagreeable or agreeable entities that can come into your being because you're dealing with the energy. None of this is coincidence. Then you go, okay, what's one of the most popular spirit drinks that people drink?
Wine.
Gin.
Gin.
What's a gin in Islam?
Being not devil.
So it's all by design. Everything is done by design. Nothing is done. Don't think. Do you know, right? This is how you know how busy the devil is. You can decide to go to the most remote jungle that you can think of, and there will be a road there. So someone's been there to put the road there. So they've been there already, innit? And don't be surprised you go deep into the forest and the bush and you see a Mickey D signs, because that's what they do. They're everywhere to make sure that they poison you with the food, the water, the whatever to make you lower your vibration. And then we get up every day around everyone and say, hello. Hell is low vibration. We repeat a lot of things because, like, for it to stick, you have to hear it over and over and over again. The master said we should read books, the scrolls, at least 7 times. And I'm like, anything the master says, like, you have to really pay attention, concentrate and think, why 7? Why not any other number, but 7? Why don't we just read it 3 times or 4 times? But why 7 times? And then when you deep it and you like think about it, you're like, okay, let me see. So what I do, I was like, okay, the explanation is when you read a book or read something, most of the time you only retain about 10% of what you read, right? So if you read it 7 times, every time you've read it, you've retained another 10%, right? So by 7 times, you've what? Got 70%. Now, if you're taking an exam, 51, maybe some 54, if they're marking you, it's passed. But 70% is a decent mark, right? That's probably a B. So obviously, the ones who want to do more, you can read it 9 times, get 90% out of 100%. So the more you read, the more you retain, because you're going to read something, like, oh, I didn't see that bit the last time I read it. You read it again, you're going to come across something else that you didn't see when you read it. And to this day, some of us are picking up books we read 20, 30 years ago, and we're like, I never saw this, because you're growing, you're evolving, new things are coming, new discoveries, and everything the master said when we weren't vibrating on that frequency, we're now able to look at it and go, oh, I get it. You get your DNA explosion. So there's always a reason and a method to whatever the master teacher, Panda Babylonian, is doing. So yeah, you retain 70% by the time you've read it 7 times. And if you have 1,000 or so books to read 7 times each, you have no time to be doing foolishness. That's not even dealing with learning the language. You see, so Wu-Sabat is a full time. You know, it's not something you do on weekends. You work for the man 9 to 5, and then you squeeze in Wu-Sabat because you're waiting for.
Jamal, sorry to interrupt you. There's you're muted on Clubhouse. I have to read. Just send a message.
Oh, Rahubat, sorry about that. I didn't realize how long that has been muted. Well, this is what I'm saying. Look at that. It just muted itself because I didn't even touch the phone. This is the games that these 60 for people play. All right. Sorry about those on Clubhouse. I'm not sure when I was muted. I hope you can hear me now. Let's see if there are any more questions. We're already coming. We've got about 20 minutes, 23 minutes to be exact left. Wrong breathing is that what causes asthma? Exactly. It's funny, but very sad what has happened. We have been like every facet of our lives. There's no sound on Clubhouse. Okay, thank you. Every facet of our lives is being controlled by these so-called five senses. And we have to break away from that collectively to do what we need to do. So reminding those who have just come on, looking for those 100 people, the first 100 people, you know, contact us, me directly, and we'll take it from there. Every, you know, going forward from now, we're at, like, we have today, what, the 24th? Right, today's the 24th. Exactly 1 month from now, we'll be coming to the master teacher's birthday on the 26th of June and our new year. So we're going to have, sorry, 1 month. Yeah, we're going to have 1 month between today and the 26th of June. We're going to make progress. And every time we meet, every time we come together, we're going to meet. And I'm talking about those people that are going to put their mouth, or sorry, their money where their mouth is. We're going to get things done. We're going to build. No more waiting. We're tired of the waiting game. Contact user can where? Well, I'm on Telegram. Everyone that is on Telegram will have access, or just you know, what do you call it? Inbox me. Firstly, because I want to see who's serious and who's not, and we take it from there. Like the book, The Journey to the Spiritual World, how it made me realize how light, sound, frequency, and Kundalini are connected to our emotions. Exactly. It's all about energy. Pepul, if I'm pronouncing your name properly, did you want to say something? Your mic is open.
Okay, my apologies.
Okay. Right. Any other questions? We have, as I said, literally like 21 minutes. Go ahead. Use the mic, please.
So that's long. Okay, go on.
Yeah, you're both, you might have to come forward because, sorry. All right, there you go. Yeah, we have one question in the class and then we'll come to you, Nicole, all right? Go ahead, sis.
Okay, Small.
It is on.
Oh, hello?
Tua. Hell is low.
Rahubat.
Rahubat.
Right. I wanted to know, I was watching something on the TV this afternoon, and it was about the pharaohs.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an insect that they were very sort of in tune with, and it's like a beetle. But it's something to do with the sun. And I didn't catch the whole information about it or explanation about it because I had to leave the room.
Right.
And I can see the same insect on the front. So I just wanted to know what that means.
Okay.
And in relation to the sun as well.
Tua. All right. So that is what you're calling an insect is referred to as the beetle. Yeah, the scarab beetle. Yeah, and it's representative of this cycle, right? Because when I don't know which documentary you were watching or who was talking, but the scarab beetle is the one that it rolls the dung. When you watch how, because you're dealing with nature, and you know, like you have to fertilize the earth and in terms of when you're dealing with crops, there's a time you plant and there's a time when you reap. And so when you're looking at that symbolically, when you look at nature as in the sun and the cycles that we go through, this is what's happening. So that scarab is referred to as Khafre, yeah, in ancient Egypt. And we have an actual fact that I'm trying to remember which one it is that goes into that, but it's symbolic of the bringing in of this new cycle, the sun cycle that we're talking about. Yeah, so when you look at the belt of Orion, which is a star constellation, yeah, is telling you about the cycles in terms of like where we go from when we are in a state of what people call darkness or amnesia, right? Or a dead state. And then we come out from that into a period where, so symbolically, when you look at the sun, when people say that the sun rises, they will say it comes from the east onto the west. So and that will be what people call the rising of the sun. And in ancient Egypt, that will be referred to as atom. Yeah. And the ray, because we say Khafre, the ray is relating to the sun because the sun is what gives us life on the planet. So when I was saying about the crops, it's because, the farmers recognize the importance of the sun or the cycles that take place, like, from season to season. So that first part is known as atom ray. Then the middle point, which will be like what people say the sun is at its highest point, or they say the zenith, right? That is Aton ray. And then when they say the sun is setting, going that way, we say that it's Amun ray, right? And he's referred to as the hidden one. So you got the undifferentiated one, and then you go to that center point, and then you go down, and then people say the sun has gone to sleep or the night time, but we know there's no night. So that's referring to that point where before it rises again and does that cycle. Now that's just dealing with the cycle of the sun. However, when we're dealing with the galactical bodies and how they're rotating, and when we're coming into this new cycle, because you have cycles of 6,000 years each, right? Where you have a sun cycle, then a moon cycle, a sun cycle, a moon cycle. Each one is 6,000 years, and collectively altogether becomes 24,000 years, which they refer to as an equinox. But then when you do another cycle, or you start again, because that's 24,000 years, you start a new cycle. So this is all referring to this time where that motion is taking place. And if you look on the back of most of our actual facts, yeah, where you see this symbol, for those who can see it, right? This symbol, this one, you can see that, you see this part? That's called the black sun. And then from the black sun is where you come here, where I'm saying Atum ray, then you go to Atun ray, to a moon ray. This black sun is something that was spoken about for those who were watching the signs and waiting for this time period. This is what, like Hitler and certain people, they knew that the time was going to come with this new cycle where everything is going to be renewed, and that six ether forces, or the ruling powers that have been controlling people, are going to be removed. So that's what that's referring to in terms of Khafre, as that symbolically that scarab beetle. We have it upstairs as well. There's a lot more to it than that, but that gives you some, I guess, information that you can go and research further on. Does that help?
Yes, it
Yeah. All right. We need a worldwide celebration to support by wearing an affordable t-shirt or hat to wear. TBJ, yeah, thanks for that. This is what we're saying, that we're going to move together and do things and implement everything that we want to do to bring about the changes that, we want. And that's why I'm saying that we're not going to be waiting around for nothing. No, we're done with the waiting game. People have waited and crossed over, and Yeah. Nicole, I think you had a question. You can go ahead now, sis.
Yes, ma'am. You were saying, the master is saying that your dream is personal, right?
Go on.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, your dream is personal. And then at the same time, you said, make your dreams come true.
Okay. What's your question?
So what you meant by making your dreams come true, because you will do see dream, your ancestor will give you an idea who being to go to give you an answer, and still then when you approach them, sometimes you don't want to say anything because they, you know what they will say. Oh, you crazy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I just want you give me a little intuition in that, how to go by doing that.
Okay, first of all, when you said, because when people say it is said or he is said, we like to know where the source or the reference that we're talking about, where you getting that information from, firstly.
Which one of the question that I give you that you
No,
want to know where I get
you
information?
said your dreams are personal, right? You said the master says your dreams are personal. We got that.
Yeah.
Then you said, make your dream come true. Is that from the master teacher as well?
Yes, he said to make your dreams come true from the family guide.
Okay, thank you. That's what I mean. It's always good to quote the source. And
Okay, all right. I now understand.
yeah. But yeah, because like we say, your dream is your dream. It's a message for you. You may have traveled somewhere or spoke to your ancestors or, like you said, receive messages for you to do something about. So to make it come true, it's not just have a dream. It's nice to dream. You can dream, like we were saying earlier on, we want to, sounds like a dream. We want this place where there's no violence, it's love, it's peace and harmony, it's clean water. It sounds like a dream. But can we make it come true? So the reality of it is to manifest your dreams. If it's telling you something that's going to benefit you or others. Now, like you say, not everyone is going to listen to you or follow what you say, but you just have to, you have to follow your dream. Your dream is your dream, and whatever it is that is telling you. But the reality also is that is your dream your dream? Because there are different types of dreams, such as, you may have accumulated a lot of images that you stored in your mind from all the movies and places you've been and things you've experienced throughout your life. And you just replay those images when you're, sleeping. And so there are different types of dreams. Some of them are for you to purge and get rid of, information that is not necessarily for you to keep. And then you have, like you say, dreams where you travel and you meet other entities or beings or your ancestors or whatever, and you have messages for you. Then you also have like visions, which you may receive for the benefit of humanity or, to share a message to others. So you are the best person to know what type of dream you're having and what the message in the dream is for you. That's why we're encouraged to document our dreams. Like get a notepad, a pen and paper, and keep it by the side of your bed so that you remember. Because one of the things is that most people don't remember their dreams or they forget, and that comes by way of the distractions and the stress and all of this. So if you can start to practice remembering your dreams, writing them down, documenting it, and then looking at what was happening in your life prior to the dream or after that, you can then look back and see how you connect the dots in terms of what is the message. You've got to be able to get to a point where you're very clear on, the message that you receive, because there are people who get messages in their dreams that are very clear, very vivid, and then they know exactly what to do and they follow it and they do it. So yeah, so
but some more they do be very clear, because they will show me, I will ask my ancestors to show me, they were showing me over and over that is the same individual that I have to approach to get my answer.
Right. And sometimes this is what we're saying about having gifts and abilities and being the God, you have to now take on that responsibility. Meaning, for example, imagine, like you said, you dreamt someone passing away or crossing over. Now, you have to now decide, should I tell the person? And it's not good news, is it? You know what I mean? So you have to have the ability to know.
That's true. That's true. It's not.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a burden and a gift at the same time. Like he said, sometimes people might want to get their barothely gland saying they want to have all these powers, but it comes with, something that someone else shared that the master taught, that you can hear everyone's voices. If you have those abilities, you can feel everyone. And for some people that have this already, in terms of, even if it's a small percentage of it, it can be overwhelming sometimes. You can't be around too many people or be in a crowded room, because you feel the energies, you feel people that are, angry, upset, sad, whatever. And as an empath, you're able to pick up a lot of these energies. So it's almost like you have to be trained how to shut it. Do you know what I mean? Like, imagine you're walking down the street and you can hear everyone's voices. That will become quite a burden, to the point where, you don't want to hear it anymore. But there are ways where you can turn it off or be able to just speak to one person, like telepathically. So yeah, there are things that we're still yet to be taught about our abilities. And yeah, you've got to just be patient and yeah, stick with Wu-Sabat, stick with the master teacher. I mean, you can ask him questions on our webpage as well that deals with things that, only you're possibly going through, that no one else is going to be able to answer for you. So I hope that helps you, Nicole. Is there anything else? And Tathir Afro. We need a worldwide. Okay, we covered that already. Right, let's see if there's anything on Clubhouse. Anyone on Clubhouse want to ask a question about anything? The question. This is from Hatui Reye Atum Hatat. You know the saying, Dopino. Yeah. Yep, but them not bad like someone else is saying. All right. Them going into patois in here, man. Man bring Dopey to the bed with them. All right, Ghostbusters. All right, let's see. One time I did back in the day before Wu-Sabat, she had fake tan. Okay, that's some personal stuff. Okay, we have literally almost come to the end of class. We have 5 minutes left. If you haven't asked a question and would like to, it's not too late. Okay, please use the mic. And then we're gonna, summarize and come to a close.
I don't remember the source, but apparently we're in the movie being projected from the Pleiadians. Is that true or false?
I didn't hear the last part.
We're in the movie being projected from the Pleiadian star system or something. Is that true or false?
Right. That's what I'm saying. You say you don't know the source.
Yeah.
So where's that coming from?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know the source. I saw it somewhere.
Yeah. We teach what we teach, what Wu-Sabat. If someone has put that information out, they need to make themselves available for us to question them. Because it sounds good. People can claim anything and say anything until you question them and say, give us we're a movie being projected from Pleiadian. That's what they say.
It's like a movie being projected and we are in it. I don't know. Like we're in a state of sleep and then we're just watching this movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to know who's saying that. What's the source?
No, that's awesome. I thought we might know.
No, we don't teach that. Wu-Sabat doesn't teach that a movie's been projected and we are characters in the movie. We're very real. Are you not real? Do you know what a movie is? A movie, yeah, is images that have been drawn on each frame, yeah, and then when you move each frame quickly, so imagine there's a drawing of me like this.
Yeah.
There's another one like this.
Yeah.
There's another one like this. And like when you move each drawing, that's what they call it a movie, because you're moving images, right, at a frame rate that gives the illusion that it's real. So if you're not a drawing, you're not an image that is, so I mean, that's what a movie is. They changed the name from cinema because when the master started to expose everything, say sin is what they do by projecting these images to you that make you do certain things. Because between each frame, they were putting subliminal messages in there. Now, your eyes won't pick it up, but your brain does, your mind does. So it was used to program people, yeah? And they were using marketing and advertising, telling people, go and buy Coke, go and buy popcorn. And then back in the days, movies will give you a time where you can go and have a break and go and get your stuff and come back in. And everyone will go and buy popcorn and
what about glitches on TV?
What about them?
Yeah. Are they messages to you?
Yeah, listen, every device you're looking at is sending light to your eyes. Light messages. That TV is images being sent as light to a device that converts the light into images. Radio is boxes or apparatus that are receiving frequencies that are being sent and then converting that into sound. So they're like a child. When I was a child, I used to think there were little people inside a box in the radio or like inside a TV, because like in terms of your imagination.
Yeah.
But you realize, no, it's just, this is all about light and frequency. So your mobile phones, as you're looking at them, this is what I'm saying, social media is one of those tools that they use to have you staring at the screen for a long length of time. And all they're doing is sending light messages that are programming you, because your eyes are actually solar panels that are taking in that light and converting
So
it.
you're taking a different energy from what you're actually watching.
Absolutely. You're literally, the energy is what you're taking. So we've been taught when you watch, say, pornography or certain things like that, and that's one of the things that is rife on the web, right? Yeah. The energy that has been projected, you're taking that into your being. So whatever that being that you're watching, doing whatever they're doing, you're receiving that energy. So you're receiving it from the pictures that are being stored in your subconscious that start to program your DNA and then have you behaving and acting in a particular way. And sometimes this is why people have addictions, the operative word being dick, right? Addictions, and they don't know how to stop or get it because they're still receiving the same messages. And it's the same with sounds that you hear. And when you asked a question earlier on about energy, and we were saying, like you said, how do people take your energy? Because if you think about it, when an artist or these celebrities are on stage and there's so much people in the crowd, all that energy is being absorbed by them. You're giving all your energy, even if it's for the concert for a couple of hours, whoever the artist is, it's God to you at that point, because everyone's come there to listen and whatever. And it's so ridiculous to the point where when you remember the time when all these reggae dances were going rife, like, and they would literally tell you, pardon the river, pardon it, and everyone's just like a zombie doing exactly what the person is instructing them to do. And like, if you look at it, most of it now is so sexualized, and the young people, remember, sex is one of the forces that is used to control people. And, you know, you have young people that are just over sexualized because all they see and hear all day long. I mean, one of the elders upstairs was telling me about a song by Vibes Cartel. I don't listen to him at all, but it's like it was so vulgar, like in terms of like, I'm not even going to repeat the words, but I'm just saying, but little children will repeat this and it becomes a mantra that it's, you know what I mean, over and over and over again, and they program this themselves. Have you when you finish, the sister also wants to ask a question.
So all I'm trying to say is we should be careful of the images that we're watching.
Yeah, we as Nagaru, we're like electromagnetic energy. Yeah. We pick up everything. The lights, the colors, the sounds, pictures, everything. You're absorbing it as a melaninite being because your melanin absorbs all these frequencies and then it affects you. Yeah, so we have to be very careful with it. That's why we have to live also about our culture. That even the fabrics you wear, the clothes you wear, they all have an effect on you.
Sabat TV.
We have Wu-Sabat 24/7 on YouTube. That's the best of TV you're gonna get. No one watches terrestrial TV anymore, literally.
True.
Everyone's on YouTube. So we have a 24-hour server and you can literally go on it now and you hear Wu-Sabat broadcasting constantly. But we still need to do more work. We need to have our own programs, our own everything. Imagine you can go on that channel and anything you want is there. So that's what we're working on. But yeah, sis, you're going to have the last question for today.
Your question, but it came into me maybe halfway through. I left with the baby and I had to come back.
Yeah.
Then I wasn't going to say it. And then the question from the brother and then all of it just, so here I am.
Right.
No more waiting.
Yeah.
I really want to connect with anybody who has any interest in wanting to teach young children the language. I'm an early years educator previously before having my baby, and we've just started to learn the language and teach it to our baby as well. And what's missing is a community with children. They learn from each other. So we send her to nursery, and obviously she's going to nursery in Croydon, learning what they're teaching children in Croydon. And I know there must be other brothers and sisters who have young children who really want to, maybe they don't know where to start. I know where to start in terms of teaching the young children, but I need a community of other
you're in it.
and brothers. I haven't seen any.
Yeah, it's coming.
I'm yet to see like another brother with a child or another sister with a
No,
child.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I just don't know where.
That's because you're quite new, and once you start coming to our family events and things that where children, parents come with their children, but that's the kind of thing we're talking about where we, as I said, no more waiting. We have things that we need to put in place, like you say, for the young children, and we do have communities in different parts. We're actually at the moment dispersed, and this is what I'm saying, like we have to start working to a point where we're bringing back the family together, so we can, like you say, in the community do certain things and have things for the children, because the children definitely, you know, are our future, and we have to like put it into them from the time they, you know what I mean, they arrive. So yeah, we work with you on that.
Is there a community of that right
Yeah,
now?
we have it here. Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is you have to get in touch, and well, we'll put you in touch with the other sisters, and you know, you'll be guided on that. That's what a sisterhood is about. It's about the sisters coming together, and they do a lot of things for the children and for the sisters. Yeah, but yeah, we'll definitely connect you on that. All right, so we've come to that moment. Want to give a shuk, which is divine love, to everyone that has joined us today. Literally, no more waiting was, or the waiting game was the title for today. And yeah, we're not waiting anymore. We want to get things done. We want Baba to come home and see us having achieved and got things done based on what he has taught us. And we're getting together with those people that are ready. And that's just the start. There's a lot to do. And yeah, want to see how quickly we get the 100 people. And then we take it from there. But as usual, class will be on same time, same place next week. We do the lives on Tuesdays on Clubhouse, sorry, on YouTube. All our recordings on Clubhouse are there. We have, we always have the replay so that you can go back and re-listen if you missed anything. We also have this recording that will go on YouTube. We have the 24/7 channel going. If you're not already in the Telegram group, join the Telegram group because we're answering people's questions in there as well continuously. There's no one else on the planet doing what we're doing at the moment. So we need your support so we can build and have, we're trying to build a studio as well, as you know, from the YouTube. So there's so much work to be done, and we have all the skills. And anyone who's about seeing a better world that wants to get involved with Wu-Sabat, they're welcome. And action speaks louder than words. So the waiting game is over. Tawuat, Tawukum, Wadu, Mwesar, Wadu.
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 Wadu. Zamal, is there any events coming up?
The next event, major event, would be Saviour's Day, which is normally celebrated on 26th of June, but we're not sure if it's going to happen. That's why it's important to stay in tune with the groups so that we can post messages in real time. But yeah, normally we will do something. Of course, there is a fundraiser that's been.
There was a walk that I heard about. Yeah,
that's an international fundraising event that we're doing here in the UK. And the flyer has been posted for those that are ready to take part and participate in that. So yeah, just make sure you're in the Telegram group because we post everything in there. It just makes it easier. Telegram can hold thousands of people on like other platforms. So, and I was going to say at the beginning that if we move together in real time, if we had 2,000 and something people, if everyone just introduced one person, immediately we would have doubled our numbers. That's how simple it is. But not everybody follows and moves together. So, until next week, Tawukum, Wadu again.
Zamal, Wadu.